Hey guys, Don Martino here with a special message from Logitech. Do you guys like to create content? Well, these guys got what you need. We at Anorax believe in the brand of Logitech because they have helped us get started and they have helped us get out of a lot of different binds that we have been in. We're here to offer you some of the best deals Logitech has to offer, so please go down and click the links in the description below and that will be enough to get you started.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was.
Pokémon Detective Pikachu is directed by Rob Letterman and tells the story of a boy named Tim, played by Justice Smith, who we follow in a world where Pokémon exists. Later, he meets up with a girl named Lucy, played by Katherine Newton, and a Pikachu, played by Ryan Reynolds, who can talk, but only Justice Smith can hear him. Basically, the three of them team up to solve a mystery, and there we have our story. So from the start of this movie, the big plus that I saw was how they decided to create the world. Rob Letterman clearly has a passion for the source material of Pokemon. He understands Pokemon very well, and that's shown throughout the movie, but just in the way that he created the world really made me believe that he was a true Pokemon fan going into this. Now, this is a mystery film, but it's just as much a comedy. I think that like 80% of the jokes worked, and then there was like a 20% that didn't work for me, but most of it is pretty funny. I did find myself smiling throughout the majority of this film, which is a plus. Visually, this film is great. I like the cinematography quite a bit. Again, with the world looked very good. The way that the Pokemon were designed, that looked very cool as well, and I enjoyed all that. Where this story lacks is Tim, played by Justice Smith, and Lucy, played by Katherine Newton. Their characters are very uninteresting to me. Tim gets a little bit of a backstory, but Lucy is just incredibly uninteresting, and I think both actors do a good job for what they're told to do, but they don't have a lot to work with. The most compelling part of the film is definitely Ryan Reynolds as Detective Pikachu. He is the most interesting character because he's just shrouded in so much mystery. You want to know a little bit more about him, and throughout the film that starts to unfold. What happens at the end was completely unexpected for me, and I enjoyed it, and it offered a lot of heart to the film. There are times, though, when Ryan Reynolds kind of throws out those quips, and you're just kind of like, okay, we get it, you're funny. We've seen this before in characters such as Deadpool and Van Wilder, and he does that a little bit. This is a slightly different character for him, but he does that a little bit where he just becomes very quippy, and you kind of are just like, I get it. I think that the stuff with Mewtwo in the film is very good. I don't think that's a spoiler because he is in the trailer, but I'm just going to throw it out there. I was getting a lot of nostalgia while watching that character. It reminded me of some of the original Pokemon movies. I grew up watching Pokemon, so I think that added a lot to my experience. If you didn't grow up watching Pokemon, I think you could still find enjoyment in this film, just maybe not as much as somebody like me who did grow up watching Pokemon. A lot of this movie does rely on you to buy into the concept that we are in a world where Pokemon exists, and if you can't do that, you're not going to be able to sit back, turn off your brain, and have a fantastic time with the movie. Myself, I was able to do that, and I think a lot of that is because I was such a fan of Pokemon growing up. Now that there's a live action movie, it's just kind of one of those things where I can't believe that we're getting this at this point. Now, while this is a Pokemon movie, this is more or less based on the video game Detective Pikachu, which I also played growing up. I can tell you, Rob Letterman as a director definitely has passion for the source material. This is probably the best video game adaptation ever made. Again, there's a lot of times where the story does lack, but if you can just get past it and just enjoy it as a Pokemon movie, I think you'll have a good time with all the action, all the fights. I mean, it just really works in that respect, and the comedy is pretty good too, again, and I think you'll enjoy that. Again, as somebody who grew up on Pokemon, I do get excited about certain things. I mean, I think that it's an added bonus to have been a fan of this stuff so much as a kid. I don't really know how it will translate to somebody who wasn't a fan of this stuff, but I think that you can find enjoyment in it if you understand what it is, and it's just a fun little Pokemon movie, and you have to shut your brain off. Just do that, and I think that you can enjoy this film very much. The story does develop enough to serve a really good ending that offers a lot of heart and a lot more than I was expecting, once again, So I think that if you kind of keep that in mind going through it, that there is going to be something that this is all leading to, then I think you'll have a much better time with it. Overall, it's a good looking movie. It's edited pretty well. I definitely can see where the filmmaker was coming from wanting to do this. I don't think that he will disappoint a lot of fans. There are also some other Pokemon that only Pokemon fans will remember throughout the film, and I think that that's pretty cool. I had a really good time seeing that. Got excited every time I saw another Pokemon that I remembered from when I was a kid. I think in terms of the character Lucy, the film didn't really know what it wanted to do with her. At times she feels like she doesn't need to be there, but then there's other times where she becomes very significant to the story. I just think at first it wasn't very clear on what it wanted to do with her, and that can feel a little rough too. Overall, this film is fun for the entire family, so take your kids if you have them. I do recommend it. I don't think it's too violent for kids. I think it has some dark moments, so maybe review the parental guides on the internet before taking them. But I think you'll have a pretty good time with it. Adults can enjoy it as well, and that's really great. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and give Detective Pikachu a B+. Guys, thank you for tuning in to my review of Pokemon Detective Pikachu. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to continue to support the channel, please hit that subscribe button below, hit the like button below, and leave some feedback in the comments section. Share this with your friends, do the whole 9 yards. I do appreciate that very much. I'll also be putting my Twitter and Instagram in the description below, so be sure to follow me there. This has been a review of Pokemon Detective Pikachu, and I thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.